Have you ever felt like you were destined for more, but something outside of you was holding you back? What if I told you that there is no power outside of your own consciousness? That everything you experience, good or bad, is a direct result of what you assume to be true. This isn't just a feel-good platitude. It's the core of a powerful spiritual principle known as the law of assumption, brought to light by the 20th century mystic Neville Goddard. His teachings have quietly transformed countless lives, and today, we're going to break them down in a way that's simple, practical, and life-changing. So, if you're ready to stop waiting for your life to happen and start creating it, stick around. You're about to discover the creator you were always meant to be. Let's start with the most profound and perhaps most challenging idea Neville taught. Consciousness is the only reality. Think about that for a moment. It doesn't just mean your consciousness perceives reality. It means your consciousness creates it. The world you see around you, the people you interact with, the circumstances you find yourself in. Neville would say this is all yourself pushed out. It's a physical, three-dimensional mirror, reflecting the sum total of your inner beliefs and assumptions. This is why he famously stated, "There is no one to change but self." We often try to change things on the outside. We try to convince people, manipulate situations, or force outcomes. But according to Neville, that's like trying to change your reflection by polishing the mirror. The real work, the only work that matters, is done within. By changing your inner state, the outer world has no choice but to conform. So, what exactly is an assumption in this context? It's not just a hopeful wish or a fleeting thought. An assumption, in Neville's world, is a deep, inner conviction. It's accepting something as a fact within your own mind, regardless of what your five senses are telling you. It's the feeling of a truth before you have any physical proof of it. Think of it like this. When you plant a seed, you don't dig it up every day to see if it's growing. You assume it's doing its work beneath the soil. You trust the process. An assumption is like planting a seed in the fertile soil of your subconscious mind. Your subconscious is the creative power. It doesn't judge, it doesn't argue. It simply accepts what you impress upon it as true, and gets to work, arranging the events and circumstances needed to bring that assumption into your physical world. Neville's dare to us is simple. Dare to believe in the reality of your assumption, and watch the world play its part, relative to its fulfillment. This brings us to one of the most crucial techniques in applying this law, living in the end. This is where many people get stuck. They focus on the how and the when, getting lost in the missing middle. Neville taught that this is a mistake. Your only job is to go straight to the end result. Mentally and emotionally, you must inhabit the state of your wish already being fulfilled. You don't beg for it, you don't hope for it, and you certainly don't look for signs that it's coming. You assume it is already done. If your desire is to be in a loving relationship, you don't think about being loved. You start thinking from the feeling of being cherished and adored. If you desire wealth, you don't focus on the lack of money. You adopt the inner feeling of security and abundance. You walk, talk, and think as the person who already has what you want. As Neville beautifully put it, imagination is the only redemptive power in the universe. You use your imagination not to daydream, but to create the reality you will soon experience. So how do you actually do this? How do you impress this new reality onto your subconscious mind? Neville's key was this: feeling is the secret. A simple thought without any emotional energy behind it is like a ship with no wind in its sails. It goes nowhere. But a thought that is saturated with feeling becomes a powerful command to your subconscious. The most effective time to do this is in the state akin to sleep, that drowsy, relaxed moment just before you drift off at night, or as you're waking up. In this state, your conscious, analytical mind is quiet, and the door to your subconscious is wide open. This is your workshop. Here's the process. First, create a short, simple scene in your imagination that implies your wish has been fulfilled. Not the moment you get it, but a moment after. For example, if you want a promotion, don't imagine your boss offering it to you. Imagine a friend congratulating you, shaking your hand and saying, "I knew you'd get it." Feel the handshake. Hear their voice. Feel the pride and joy swelling in your chest. Make that imaginary scene as vivid and real as you can. Loop this little scene over and over in your mind as you fall asleep, feeling the emotions of it being true right now. Now, this is the part that requires discipline. Persistence. This isn't a one-and-done magic trick. Many people try it once or twice, see no immediate change in their 3D world, and then give up, concluding it doesn't work. Neville stressed that you must persist in your assumption until it becomes your dominant feeling. Think of it like this. For years, you may have been assuming lack, loneliness, or failure. Those are deeply ingrained patterns. You must now persistently and faithfully impose a new pattern. When your senses show you the opposite of your desire, you must have the courage to trust your inner world more than the outer one. Don't look for confirmation outside. The confirmation is the feeling within you. Every time doubt creeps in, you gently return to your assumption. You live your day from the end, knowing it is a done deal, even if the how is completely invisible to you. Your persistence is your faith in action. It's the bridge between your imagination and your reality. The proof, as they say, is in the pudding. Neville's lectures were filled with incredible success stories from his students and his own life. He told of a woman who was estranged from her family. Instead of arguing or pleading, she simply imagined a joyful family reunion, feeling the love and forgiveness. Within a short time, her brother called her out of the blue, and the reconciliation happened just as she had imagined. There's the famous story of Neville himself. During World War II, he was drafted into the army and desperately wanted to return to his life as a teacher in New York. His commanding officer denied his request. So every night in his barracks, Neville imagined he was back in his own apartment in New York City. He felt his own bed, saw the familiar furniture, and felt the immense relief of being home. He lived in that reality within his mind. Just 9 days later, against all odds and military protocol, his commanding officer called him in and told him he was being honorably discharged. These aren't coincidences. They are the natural result of a consciousness that dared to assume its desire was already a fact. So, let's recap how you can start using this powerful law today. First, get crystal clear on your desire. What do you truly want? Be specific. Second, construct a short, simple scene that implies the wish is already fulfilled. Remember, it should be an event that would happen after your desire is realized. Third, every night as you're getting drowsy, enter this scene in your imagination. Use all your senses. Feel it with every fiber of your being until it feels real. Fourth, and most importantly, persist. Throughout your day, whenever you think of your desire, remember the feeling of it being done. Don't contradict your inner work with outer worry. Walk in the confidence of your assumption. You are always assuming something. You might be assuming you're not good enough, or that things are hard. Since you're always assuming, why not consciously and deliberately assume the best? Why not assume success, love, and happiness? The law of assumption is a call to awaken to your true power. It requires discipline and a willingness to trust the unseen reality within you, more than the often deceiving world of appearances. It asks you to take full responsibility for your life, because you are its sole creator. It's a profound journey inward, to the very source of all creation, your own wonderful human imagination. As Neville Goddard said, assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled and continue feeling it until that which you feel becomes your reality. The power is, and always has been, within you. Thank you so much for joining me on this deep dive into the law of assumption. I hope it's given you a new perspective on your own creative power. If this resonated with you, please give this video a thumbs up and consider subscribing for more content that empowers you to create the life you truly desire. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Until next time, dare to assume the best for yourself.